Hello. Hi. Good afternoon, friends. It's great to be here. You know, it's my first time in this state, and so happy to, be here and come here in the state of Mizoram, especially, for IT data center and this AI summit. So thanks everyone for being here, and thanks for giving us an opportunity to present what we as Yotta is doing for the Indian digital infrastructure, digital landscape, and data centers on in general. While we talk about the AI services, the cloud services, the backbone of all these innovations that are happening and the AI services that we are talking about, the backbone of all these services lie in the data centers, the services or the physical infrastructure that host them. And I would just like you to run through the entire portfolio of the services and give a brief background of what actually runs in a data center. I am Rohan Sheth. I have been in with Yotta since the start of we started since the last 6 years, and I take care of the entire infrastructure part in our company. So just excuse, can you help me? Yeah. So just going by the numbers over the last, 10 years, what we have seen, there has been a considerable growth in the Indian data center market, and that growth is now continuing, even more. Just to give you an idea, in 2024, the overall data center industry is, the industry size with that we are talking about is around 5 billion, which is expected to grow to around 12.9, 13 billion by in the next, 9 to 10 years by 2033. There are some of key growth factors that is leading to this growth is basically the AI and the data explosion with chat GPT and other applications now being in the market, and foreign the US and the Chinese companies and the other companies now also trying to match up to these applications. The Indian government and the Indian IT industry is also now working big way. There are various applications that are now trying to cope up with it, and we will soon have the Indian AI, you can say, the industry is having its our own applications. So the AI industry, earlier we used to, the Instagrams and the Facebooks of the world were, being used by us on a day-to-day basis on our mobile phones, our laptops. Now we see the chat GPTs of the world, each and every mobile phone user is a practical user of the AI application. So this explosion is ultimately all the use cases leads to data, which ultimately leads to need for storage, which the cooling services, the power services, the security services, the customers themselves do. The next are the co-location providers, which along with the land and the building, they also do the engineering inside which is required. Ultimately, a data center, when a customer comes, he requires 24 by 7 uninterrupted power and cooling and physical and IT security. So these services are designed, are engineered and delivered by these co-location service provider. So they are just moving one step up the ladder, and instead of providing just 4 walls of the building, they provide this engineering also. They bring in power to the building from substations, they do the entire engineering of the cooling part, and they provide this 24 by 7 uninterrupted infrastructure so that cloud providers or customers like me and you can come in and host their racks and servers over there. The third category is providers which along with this power and cooling, they also provide the hardware. They provide the servers, they provide the racks, so that the final customer just has to run its application over there in the server hall. he doesn't have to bring in any hardware, he doesn't have to bring in any IT switches, IT servers, everything he doesn't have to bring in, just has to plug and play, directly run and come in with his application, the direct software, and he can directly run his application. The final category of service provider is the one who does entire thing himself. The entire infrastructure is given by the service provider, like we discussed, the land, the building, the power, the cooling, the safety, security, bringing in the fiber, the network part, and in addition the hardware, which is like the CPUs and the GPUs that you require to run your applications, and even the software level services. The people to operate your IT services, the IT operations, and even the development of the final product. That is also done by service provider. That is where a service provider like Yotta comes in, and the uniqueness of a service provider like Yotta comes in, that not just the hardware part or not just the infrastructure part, but the final cloud and the final application of the software is done by us and given to the customers, so that the customer can just use the final service or the final product as the service on without investing into any of the capex on this. These are just our overall portfolio, right from, as you can see, the co-location or the data center service as an infrastructure services, to the network and the security, cyber security services, wherein we just provide network to the customer's data or the customer servers, to the infrastructure as a service and a product as a service, wherein our cloud services and everything come in, and the final layer of services is the system or the software as a service and the managed application services. These two, the entire value chain of right from infrastructure to the software as a service, that entire value chain is provided by us. In consultation, or as we are the first company to provide, we launched this Shakti Cloud, which is basically the GPUs that are required for the AI services. So whether a customer requires the GPUs on its, just as a service, wherein the software and the entire workload is managed on the GPUs of the customers on its own, and he requires the GPU just on an OPEX model, then we provide the GPU as a service. Shakti, what we are saying is basically, if you require the managed AI as a service, then that is provided by our Shakti Cloud. These are some of the, I'll just go back. So we are currently operational at 3 data centers. We have NM1, which is our Navi Mumbai data center. We have a 1 gigawatt or 1000 megawatt campus over there. Currently we are operational with 550 megawatt, first India's only tier 4 rated, uptime tier 4 rated data center. That is a 50 megawatt data center. We have currently 8,000 GPUs, which are H100 GPUs, which are already running and operational out of here in this GPU. Under India's AI mission, this is where the first lot of GPUs which we are working with the government to allocate to the customers, to all the IT companies of India, which are eligible under the India AI mission. The next campus, as you see in the middle, is Yotta D1, which is in our Greater Noida campus, in a campus in Greater Noida. This is again a 200 megawatt 20-acre campus, wherein we are live with one building of 30 megawatt and further 5 buildings of similar 30 to 35 megawatts. The second building is almost ready, which we are starting the fit outs for our customers. We also have a boutique enterprise data center in the Gift City campus in Gujarat, which is for international, government has made that for international financial trading. We have one enterprise data center of around 2 megawatt in Gift City in Gujarat. So key differentiators which typically we pride ourselves in is, first is the real estate ownership and the domain expertise. The primary company, which is there with Yotta is the Hiranandani Group, which is again a 40-50-year-old Indian real estate company, which has land banks all across India and has residential, commercial, experience for more than 4 and 5 decades in India. So the entire real estate ownership of construction, design, licensing, approvals is all done in-house. And the main is then the end-to-end in-house expertise, right from data center design to project management to data center operations to the IT operations, all the teams that are generally required to right from designing to operating a data center. Each and every team is there in-house, in Yotta. We have more than 1,000 employees which are currently on Yotta's payroll, mainly from the IT and non-IT side. And the design and the operations, SOP and everything are all hyperscale, customer centric, wherein the design practices, the operation practices and everything are as per the design specifications and everything, which are followed by the Amazons and the Microsofts and the Googles of the world. So even a small customer or a local customer comes in, the quality and the performance is guaranteed as per the global standards. These are some of our network services. All our campuses are network, or you can say neutral. All the telecom operators are there. The network comes in from multiple directions or multiple network this thing. And in addition to bandwidth and cross connects and all these typical data center services, we also offer internet lease line services to global cloud connects, to internet peering and CDN services, which is pretty much essential for cloud service providers. Managed services is a critical component of data center co-location, so that again comes with the overall this thing. Yantra is again an initiative with the government, which is a sovereign cloud in line with the AWS cloud and the Azure cloud which is there. The key thing is that when we talk of sovereignty, we need an Indian company having an Indian platform or an Indian cloud, so that either for the government or for the local Indian companies, there is an alternate for hosting your data for privately and securely in an Indian sovereign environment, where the IPs and the technology is owned by an Indian company rather a foreign company. So that we are already working closely with the NIC and the STPIs of the government of India, wherein they are cloud services are labeled and managed by our Yotta cloud. This for the private enterprises and everything will be launching sometime next quarter, and these same cloud services will be available for the private enterprises itself. As we said, the same for NIC and for STPI, the government cloud journey is already underway. AI mission, we already talked about the Shakti Cloud Services. We are working for the GPUs along with the government in the India AI mission, and the software layer on the top of the GPUs, which we will be allocating privately and through the India AI mission. The Shakti services are also underway, wherein the directly end customer, instead of just having the GPUs on a pay-per-use model, they can also have the software services by the name of Shakti Cloud on directly the AI services they can run. The Suraksha is the form of cyber security services. It is essential whether you use co-location, whether you use cloud services, any services is top of that. All the service cyber security is required. We have more than 800 customers across various sectors currently running out of all these 4 data centers, and all the certifications and research are here. Thank you. I will be available. I think the time is up. Any questions, any suggestions, we can discuss online. Thank you. Thank you very much.